Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Virgo energy, or through the lens of Virgo energy. It's kind of a collective message, and yeah, it's what's going on collectively and how it may be affecting Virgo. So Virgos, what I have for you intuitively as I meditated on your energy, I got sentences. So I got working with the light from the sun, and the way that this came through was starting to have a little bit more of a positive mindset rather than a glass half empty mindset. So it was like, instead of thinking, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, or like thinking about the past, it's like almost like the light from the sun kind of coming from within your head. Right, that doesn't explain it very well. So yeah, just being positive, so being very practical, being very Virgo, so practical. Like, this is the way it is. I'm not going to worry about the future. I'm not going to worry about the past. I'm going to deal with what's available to me in the present. So this is the information I know. These are the tools available. These are the skills I have. This is what I can do right now. This is what I can do today. So it feels a little bit like because there's stuff here that tells me like you've been going round and around in your own head, or round and round in circles in something, and it feels a bit more like, actually, rather than over worrying about stuff, it's like actually kind of shining a light on your situation in a very practical way, and just almost taking baby steps is the way it's coming through. So it kind of is coming out in your cards as well, which we'll get to in a minute. So this, seeing things for what they are, I was getting kind of like the sun is the light and clarity and that kind of pragmatism, like positive I can't even say it. Positive pragmatism is the way it's coming through for you. And then like the moon kind of represents fears, right? The unknown, fears. So putting the moon aside and working with that sun energy. I was getting something about like summer and winter and kind of like making hay while the sun shines. So it's like, do it while you can do it. You know, do it while you've got the energy. Do it while you've got the tools, while you've got the money, and also kind of like save a little as well. So make hay while the sun shines is like, it's talking about kind of doing the work for the future while the times are good, right? Almost like saving for a rainy day. Like you sow the seeds of the hay, you do the work in the fields while the weather's good, and then you'll have hay to last you through the hard times, right? So yeah, that's what I've kind of got. As I was getting that, like make hay while the sun shines, my neighbors came out of the house talking, and they started to talk about like go out in the garden while the weather's nice. So it's so funny that it came through for me, and then literally it's like confirmation, the neighbors were talking about it too. So yeah, that's what I had intuitively. So the song that came through to explain your reading is Play the Game by Beach House. It is talking about play the game of love, but it doesn't have to be love for you. I'm not necessarily seeing love in the cards, but it's like it just has this kind of, yeah, like getting it done energy, or step-by-step energy, which is quite Virgo. So there's two characters in this reading in the cards. One of them, which I'm reading as you, is going to be this sorcerer energy, because it's kind of the same energy as this Seven of Earth, and the Seven of Earth is your card. So just kind of look at the pose of these two, kind of looking back, right? So I am seeing this as your energy, but flip and reverse if needs be. Don't worry about if it's a man or a woman on the card. It's energy, not gender. And then there's a second character who's coming through as this kind of fairy character. So could be a child of yours, could be somebody who's very, very playful. Gemini has been popping up with this energy, so it could be a Gemini, but not necessarily. Especially with the butterfly here. Butterfly is a symbol of Gemini for me as a reader. So yeah, this kind of more playful energy. So what I'm seeing here then, so it could be for some of you that you're moving house as well, because I noticed that the Hermit card was on the underline of this deck. Oh, I should say 5 of the decks I'm using here are by Colette Baron Reid, and I'm also using the Sacred Forest Tarot, the Sacred Forest Oracle deck. I forget who that's by, just in case you're interested in any of those decks. So yeah, in the underline over here is the Hermit card, which is your card in the Tarot, Virgo. And you can see there's this closed door. So I do kind of feel like, just because the reading ends with this home energy, with this other door, it's a different door though, right? So it could be that some of you are moving home, right? Or moving workplace, or there's a change of situation, but there's definitely movement that's happening throughout your reading. So it could be with the Hermit and the Sorcerer. So it's talking to me about maybe being in hermit mode, maybe spending some time alone, thinking. It does have this feeling of you like going around in your own head, right? Being in a situation that you can't seem to think your way out of, or you can't work your way out of it. Every time you try to work your way out of this situation, you just find yourself going back round in a circle, or like even digging yourself deeper into a hole. The reason why I'm saying this is because here there's this, like, can you see here there's this kind of almost spiral behind the head, and here stuck in the mud, it's like the more the elephant tries to walk out of this situation, it's like the deeper that trench becomes. So I do feel like you kind of went into hermit mode, which is natural for you to do that, which is just being very analytical about your situation, having a bit of solitude to, and it could just be like, I don't know, getting up and being the first one up in the morning, or I don't know, sitting in your garden or doing the gardening, right? It's like that's your time to think, or going for a walk, or going to the gym, or whatever it is. It's like whatever your time to think is. But you've even if you're aware of this or not, it's like you've got yourself stuck. So with it being the Sorcerer as well, I do feel like you have some tools available to you. You have some like latent ability to make something happen, but it's like you've got to a almost like writer's block or something. You've got to this point where it's like no matter what you do, no matter what you try, no matter how much you think about it, it's just that situation doesn't seem to change, right? It's like a stopping block almost. But what I'm seeing is, and it's very similar to what happened in Cancer's reading with this this light of rainbow. So this character has been coming up in the readings, and it's coming through almost like the spirit of a cat, or the spirit of a child, or a bird, or something very playful like a parrot or something. But it's like it's almost like a spirit, or it was coming through as like a half human, half creature thing in Cancer's reading, and it kind of whizzed by Cancer. The Cancer was very, very focused on something, and this energy just kind of ran through. It's almost as though, like, I'm sorry to be talking about Cancer for a second, it just feels like a very similar character. So Cancer was kind of like busy. Imagine like Cancer's painting, and they're very, very focused on trying to make that image come to life, right? Trying to make, because it had this thing about something materializing or something coming into existence. So it's like, imagine that Cancer's painting and they're trying to make that image come alive on the canvas, and then a cat kind of chasing a moth or a butterfly or something just runs without thinking about anything. It's like their entire focus is on chasing that thing, right? Having fun, playing. So it runs through the paints and kind of smears paint everywhere and runs off. And Cancer's like, what just happened? I didn't even have a cat, right? Where did that come from? Is kind of the energy. And then trying to call it back. So it feels very similar. I don't know if you've got Cancer placements, but it feels like you've been hit by a similar energy, or this energy has also caught your attention, right? It's like it zooms past, but it's like a flash, right? It's like this vibrant, colourful flash of noise or chaos or fun, right? So if you look at the colours on the butterfly here, it's like it just, it shoots past. You kind of like see it out the corner of your eye. It's like, what was that? I want to. It's just a catching attention energy is the way it's coming through. So what I'm actually seeing happen to you here is it is almost coming through, like, because if you look closely, it's not really going behind her, it's actually almost passing through her. So when people say, oh, somebody just walked over my grave, or when people go ghost hunting, they kind of walk through the cold patches, it's got this feeling of like an energy passing through you, right? So like very quickly, very suddenly, and then kind of getting goosebumps from that and thinking, what was that? Now, it doesn't have to be that. It's just the way it's shown to me in the cards. So I want to say it's this energy as well, the spirit of the river, movement towards adventure, right? Because this cat chasing the butterfly or the bird or whatever it is, right? This playful, childlike, like cat-like spirit is, or bird-like spirit is just, it's just following adventure. It's just having fun. It's just doing what pleases it. It's just doing what's, you know, what catches its eye or what motivates it, right? It's going with the flow, right? The spirit of the river, it just goes with the flow. It goes where life takes it. So it's a very free, very young, very spirited, playful energy. And I do see, especially with it being spirit of the river and water symbolizing the void, right? Or the afterlife or the spirit world. It's like it could actually be some sort of spirit. So I do see that it kind of passes through you. So I'm kind of seeing that in these cards here, because I'm seeing this as the spirit, right? This as the little fairy child cat energy. So it's like I've seen both of these as you, basically. So this hollow bone creature is almost like your skeleton, your inside, right? Your maybe even your mortality, right? So it's like you're here trying to do something, and this energy whizzes through you. And it's like it gives you a flash, like I say, it's like a flash of your own mortality, or a flash of your own, your past, perhaps. I'm just thinking how we have this. I mean, it's not an elephant, right? It's like some sort of stag or something. I just ruined my nail varnish. It's some sort of stag or something, but it could be an elephant, right? If it's, I don't know. It's this could be its ears. This could be its skull. So whatever that energy is, I'm sort of seeing that as the same energy, and I'm seeing it as you because of this stuff. It's like you realize, right? Because it's like a flash of your own mortality, or a flash of your past, or a flash of how you've been spending your time. It's like you suddenly recognize that you have been going around in circles, right? That you have been repeating a pattern. And it could be a pattern that you've repeated for a long time. And it could be, with it being an elephant, it could be an ancestral pattern, right? So a behavior that you saw play out in your older siblings, or your parents, or your uncles, or your aunties, or the people you grew up around, right? Or your grandparents. It's like, this is the way it's always been done, so this is the way it's always going to happen, is kind of that ancestral stuck in the mud energy. But it doesn't have to be that way. So you've been going around in circles, you've been digging yourself deeper into this hole, and even like your entire ancestry deeper into this mud, right? Be wary about like passing on bad patterns of behavior to your kids as well. So it's like this energy comes in with this message then of, because this is teachability as well, right? So I feel like this energy has something to teach you. And it's like it's saying, especially because, just to show you why I kind of feel like this is you as well. Can you see this specific feather in her hair? It's like it's here as well. So I do feel like it's like it could even be the kind of person that, you know, maybe they are very connected to spirit, maybe they are very playful, and they can kind of see behind the mask. So there's been a bit of this coming through with some of the readings where, you know, some people have the ability to see behind the way that we present to the world, right? So I call it the insta lie. So like the way you present on social media, or, you know, like when you go into work and put a happy face on, you don't necessarily tell everybody. I mean, I do. my Virgo boss is going to be like, yeah, she tells me too much. She overshares. But like a lot of people, they bottle things up, or like they don't necessarily really tell everybody what's going on, perhaps, or, you know, they make out like the life is better or more impressive than it really is, and these kinds of things that I think it's natural to do, because you kind of want to, it's kind of animal instinct, isn't it, to kind of want to impress other people and show yourself as kind of the you know, the person who's doing well. So you want, you know, you think that's going to attract friends or whatever, but it's, you know, fake friends, isn't it, at the end of the day, if you're not showing the real you. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So it could be the sort of person that because perhaps they are kind of connected to spirit in some sort of way. They have that ability to kind of see right through the mask, right to the core of who you are, right to the truth of what's going on for you, you know? That kind of energy. And like I said, because it's teachability, I feel like this energy is teaching you something about being a little bit more free, being a little bit more playful, you know, going where life takes you, and not kind of getting stuck in your own head about it. They're doing something as well where it's because this energy in the other readings has been coming in with, it's like more tools, right? They're bringing something in with their energy. It's like they have access to information or tools or lessons that you don't have yet. So with this flash of them coming in, it's like they're also bringing in this extra information. And the way it's coming through for you is like you've been trying to play this instrument. You've been trying to find the right note, and it could be finding the right note of your, like your soul, something that vibrates with you, something that feels like it's for you. You could have been trying to manifest and call something in from the universe, but it's like you only had like access to, say, like 3 of the notes on this instrument. So you had a tool, right? It's coming through a bit rude now, but you had a tool, you had a something that you were trying to do, but you didn't quite realize that there was more to this. I don't want to keep saying tool. There was more to this. There was more notes that you could play. So whatever this is for you, it's like some kind of skill, some kind of information, some kind of resource that's available to you. It's like there's more to this than you realize, is the way it's coming through. Because these 3 like dots is showing me that, you know, it's opening up new notes for you to play. So it could be something about vibrations or music as well, just because of what I'm going to talk about next. So where you've been playing, you've been trying to play this instrument, you've been trying to do this thing, you've been trying to manifest something, and you've only been using 3 notes, right? So this is what's giving you that kind of creator's block energy, like writer's block energy, creator's block energy. You've been going around in your head, or like the way that you've been playing the notes has created a certain vibration. You know, so it could be like you've got singing bowls, but you need to get more different notes, something like that. I don't know, but it's like this vibration's sending you round and round and round in circles, basically. So the fairy's coming in to transform the situation for you, because it says transformation is beautiful, and you see how it's like suddenly like opening up. It's like this energy is just gifting you this freely, right? They don't expect anything in return. It's part of the fun for them. It's part of the game for them to kind of almost, because it's like they steal. So it's like they fly through, and then it's like they steal this instrument off you, right? It's like they yoink it as they go past, and you're like, hey, that was my hollow bone. What are you doing? But it's like they're showing you a new way to do it. So not only now is it curled, like it's a different shape, it's coming through a little bit lewd, and I'm going to acknowledge that, but I don't know, it's like it's a different shape now. So because it's a different shape, it's playing a different note. So can you see how the vibrations have changed now? So it's like instead of being like a tight spiral, it's now a bigger, more open space. It's like it's made that vibration, or that vibrational space, like expanded. So with it being, instead of it being like a tight concentric circle that's very deep and you're stuck in it, it's like spreading out the surface. So now you can start to take steps out of that situation. It could also be something like, because this is Rainmaker, it's like, in that earth's very dry, it's like the rain almost makes it's almost like it resets the earth or something, you know, like because it's dry, it's kind of hardened. So when the earth gets kind of like drenched, maybe it gets more muddy, and it kind of flattens out, is the way I'm seeing it. So you can now get out of that stuck in the mud or creator's block situation. So I really, really like it. And this fairy seems to be very friendly to you. It really does seem to be like, you know, like a child who wants what's best for you, or it's coming through. It's very, very playful, kind of mischievous, but actually what you needed, because you'd come in with this kind of very stuck in the mud, kind of like, sorry, just wait for that to go past, this kind of stuck in the mud, very like very worried, or trying too hard, or very taking something very seriously. And then this is like the Fool, right? It's the Fool energy. So it's also 0, right? And it's like a fresh start, something, it's like it really feels like wiping the slate clean, right? So instead of going around in circles, like almost like this as well, it's like just completely like putting your hand on that canvas and swiping it and being like, let's start again. So and then with movement towards adventure and the Fool, it's like encouraging you to see this as a fresh start, a new opportunity, an opportunity to learn something with teachability, right? It's like transformation is beautiful. This is the message that this energy is coming in with. It's like, don't stop looking back at the past and worrying about that, and start looking towards the future. Start taking steps towards the future, because this card here, Seven of Earth, is a card about taking steps, right? It's like one foot in front of the other, just move in the direction you want to go in and you will see results. It is literally like make hay while the sun shines energy. It's very Virgo. So yeah, like whatever this is, wipe the slate clean. Don't be afraid to start again. Don't be afraid to, and then like see it as a positive thing. See it as like that way wasn't working, right? We tried that, we went round in circles, we didn't get anywhere with that. Let's wipe the slate clean, try again, and see it, take it as a learning experience, right? Take the lessons that we can from that, and be open to, I don't know, being shown new ways of doing something, to be shown how to play an instrument differently, to be shown how to take resources and apply them in a different way, to modify the situation, because transformation is beautiful. So yeah, and then like the excitement of that, the enthusiasm, the sense of adventure that comes with that Aries energy. So Aries, Gemini, very strongly there. And then it's like, because you do start to move forward. So the way that I'm seeing it in this reading is you do start to move forward. You do start to put one foot in front of the other. You do start to make progress. You do start to see some results. But every now and again, you still look back. You still look back at whatever you were looking back in the past, right? The past situation. It could be nostalgia. I'm not seeing nostalgia in the cards, but it could be nostalgia. Oh, I remember that past situation fondly. It could be slipping back into old patterns. I'm seeing that more strongly, to be honest, like slipping back into old patterns. So it could be like you know, you finally break a bad habit, but every now and again you kind of cave in and go back to it, and it's like every time you think about going back, every time you look back over your shoulder, every time you start to stumble, there's an energy still ushering you forward, right? It's like the universe or a friend or somebody still, like, it's like, I've got your back, let's keep moving, right? Don't stop now, like keep making that progress. And then every time you look back, it's like you see this friend, right? This child, this fairy spirit. It's like whenever you doubt yourself, whenever you think about falling back into the old habits and you look back over your shoulder at the past, instead of seeing the past, you see this friendly face smiling at you. It's so beautiful, reminding you of the new beginnings, reminding you that everything's, it's like, because they're so positive, right? Because they're so excited, because all they see is the adventure and, you know, what lies ahead, it gives you encouragement to keep going. And I want to say that this energy is teaching you something about going with the flow and seeing life as an adventure. It's like, because you've got teachability, and because you've got, it's like they're teaching you how to, they're teaching you how to dance, or they're teaching you how to like dance through life, or they're teaching you how to raise your vibration or change your vibration, or make music or be creative, and to, it's just teaching you how to be optimistic, teaching you how to use the sun, right? And not the moon, how to harness the power of the sun and not sit in the power of the moons. Again, going to the sun being like clarity and like that kind of practical clarity against the kind of the fears or the unknown. So yeah, every time you look back, it's like this friend or this child is there to, you know, they're just like smiling and they're happy and they're having fun, and that gives you the encouragement too. And then learning the lesson from this. So it's like the more, because even here it's like this little friend, with it being this winged character, it's been here all the time. And again, it's like you don't have to look back, because this, see how yellow it is as well. I don't know if yellow's significant in some sort of way. It's like every time, you don't have to look back, because it's like this creature's got your back, this friend's got your back, this friend is keeping an eye out for what was behind you, is the way it's coming through. And mirroring as well. There's a mirroring here, 24 and 42. So yeah, it's like you are learning something from it. This is teaching you, even though it could be a child, right? It's like it's reminding you of something. It's reminding you how to be childlike, perhaps, because can you see how in the beginning it's starting off with this kind of like these wings on its arms, and it's like now these wings are kind of part of your headdress. So it's like you've lost some of the heaviness, right? Some of the heaviness that came before with these kind of thick, dark feathers, and this kind of ancestry, like the weight on your shoulders or the heaviness of your past. It's like you've replaced that with something more gauzy and light, and it's like you're becoming, the more time you spend together, the more you're becoming like that creature, right? It's teaching you how to, it's teaching you how to be adventurous and free and flow. So I really, really like it. And then again, it's like it could be literally teaching you how to dance. It's so the Rainmaker is coming through as this same energy just because of the pose and the wings. So it's like it's showing you, and it's kind of coming through with interpretive dance. So this person could be really enjoy dancing. They could be very good at moving their body. And with this stuff about vibrations and kind of sound, it's like they move naturally with the sound, right? It comes very easily to them to have their body flow with the energy or the sound or the music. It's like they are, that's part of their magic, right? That's part of how they make the rain, or it's like they know how to play with the energy is the way it's coming through. And I do want to say that they're kind of teaching you how to do this, or they're distracting you, right? So every time you look back at the past, every time you start to find yourself getting in that I'm hearing like stig of the dump, like that stig of the dump energy of like chasing your tail or going around in circles, or you know, getting stuck in your own head. It's like they distract you, right? They're so like happy and fun. It's like they know exactly what you need, and what you need might be for them to put on a silly dance for you, or for them to you know, just grab your hand and make you dance, or you know, grab your hand and take you off on a walk, or it's like they know how to keep you moving, they know how to entertain you, they know how to distract you, and keep you focused on the new. So again, it's like with this teachability, with you learning from this energy, and again, flip it and reverse it if needs be. It's like with this spark, so like new beginnings and spark and Rainmaker, it's like because can you see it's like these drops are falling down, and here's the little fairy. So it's like the little fairy is kind of teaching you how to, even though you could still be from time to time very fixed and very stuck, it's teaching you how to also play with the vibrations, right? How to also lift energy through music or singing or sound or creation. And then it's like, even it's almost like even without realizing it, even without realizing that you've taken all these steps, right? Because it's like every time you stop, every time you look back, the fairy's there to keep encouraging you, and like entertaining you on the way. So it could almost be like, you know, like a long car journey, and the kids are like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And then there's that one person in the car who's really good at entertaining the kids, and then they kind of forget about how long it's been, you know, how long they've been walking, because you know, it's like the mum being like, oh, look at these flowers, like let's go and put these flowers in the river that's up further ahead. So it's like constant stimulation, constant like almost like every time they see you slipping, or every time, again, flip it and reverse it if needs be, every time they see you slipping back into your own head, they've got something new to entertain you with. And it might just be like for 5 minutes, right? It's like, look at this for the next 5 minutes, look at this for the next 5 minutes. So it really just feel like baby steps. But it's like you, before you know it, without even realizing how far you've come, especially with the 7 of Earth, which is like over time, like you finally, it's like you finally reach the new destination. You finally reach the new home, the new place. And then can you see there's 2 fairies here? So it's like along that journey, because you spent so much time with them, you've also transformed. You've also learned how to be kind of light and playful adventurous. So it's like, this is you two now, is how it's coming through at the new place, right? At the new door. And it's like, even if that door's shut, because perhaps there is a shut door here for you, it's like you can go in through the window, right? It's so again, this kind of out of the box thinking, like you've got wings, you can fly, you can go in through the window. So yeah, and again, there's a clock here. So again, this thing about taking time. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting reading. I want to say, if this energy is around you, if you notice it, and I think it's very noticeable as well, I don't think you can miss it. I do think you're being told to be open to what this energy has to teach you. And there could be an urge to be dismissive about it, right? You know, I'm mature, I'm the parent, I'm the sensible one here. You know, that person's frivolous, that person's only looking to have a good time, that person doesn't take life seriously. But don't be dismissive of it, because you can learn from it, right? And you can learn to, by embracing that energy of going with the flow and putting one foot in front of the other and just focusing on the adventure and the new beginnings, because you've got that 4 times in this reading: movement towards adventure, transformation is beautiful, the Fool energy, new beginnings. It's like everything is encouraging you to open up to wherever you're being led by this energy, or wherever you're being encouraged to go, because it is a companion to you, it is a friend, right? And you will reach this destination together. Okay, I hope this was entertaining for you, and I hope you've taken something from it that's going to be really helpful to you. Leave me a like if you like, share with friends if you think they need to also hear it. Leave me a comment if anything particularly resonated. I always read them. I don't always reply straight away, but I do always read them, so thank you so much for those of you that do leave comments. Subscribe if you haven't already, it really helps out the channel. And yeah, have a good couple of weeks, Virgo, and do check out the description box, because I always put a couple of extra songs in there, just as kind of like what you might want to hear or advice. So if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. But there could be something in there, you know, whatever you think about, whatever those songs kind of bring into your mind, kind of pay attention to that. There's a lesson in there. Yeah, so, and of course use your own intuition to know what to do in your own situation. Okay, I'm going. Okay, take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.